Howdy everybody, I'm Gary and this is GLoPersonalFinance, where I talk about getting your finances under control, building wealth, and becoming financially independent. So here's me in a nutshell. I'm on fire. No, seriously, I'm in this movement called the FIRE movement. For those of you who don't know, FIRE is an acronym for Financial Independence, Retire Early. So essentially, you need to save enough money so you don't run out of it by the time you pass away. Now I know there are a ton of variables out there that you need to consider before firing. No matter what age you're currently at right now, you might be just starting out in college, or you might be in your 30s and 40s working in your career, or in your 50s to 60s looking to retire soon. You need to have a plan of attack no matter which age bracket you're in. So stick around and we'll talk about the tried and true method that gives you an estimate of how much money you can spend at whatever age you decide to retire. So how do you retire? First off, I'm not holding my breath for Social Security. As for as long as I can think of, people have been fearing Social Security would run out of money by the time they retire. So I'm basing all my calculations assuming Social Security won't be there by the time you retire. And if it is still there by the time you retire, that'll just be icing on the cake. So when I talk with people about retirement, I find there are two main people. Let's see if you fall into one of these two groups. Hey, what's your retirement plan? Retirement plan? What's that? Oh, yeah, nice. And then you have your second group. Hey, what's your plan for retirement? Well, I don't have a plan, but I do plan on saving as much money as I can in my savings account, and let's just see how far that takes me. So I would say about 95% of the people that I talk to fall into one of these two groups. You might think that if you're in group 2, you're slightly better off since you're making an attempt to save money. And yes, that is true. But the problem with being in one of these two groups is that you really don't have a retirement goal, and that's what you really need right now. So my goal for you today is to come up with an extremely easy and an obtainable goal for your personal situation. Everybody is different. Some live a financially minimalistic life and they will need to save less, and some want to live a more extravagant life and they will need to save a bit more. But the goal here is to save an easy, obtainable goal. So it comes to a shock when I tell people retirement is not a specific age. Everybody always quotes, oh, 65 or 67 is the retirement age. Just get rid of that notion. Retirement is not a specific age. So what is retirement? It's actually a specific dollar amount. And the cool thing is, once you hit this dollar amount, you can retire. This is called your FIRE number, because once you hit this number, you are by definition on fire, financially independent, and you can retire early. And now right now, I'm pretty sure you want to know what your FIRE number is. So since your FIRE number is different for every person watching this, I'll bring up a hypothetical. Here is my cousin Gwen. She's a cat person. She loves going out to eat. She lives in a modest apartment. Her grocery bill is average for a normal American. She tracks her spending extremely carefully and knows she spends about $50,000 per year on all her expenses: rent, dining, groceries, cat food, car payments, vacations, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, a lot of stuff to keep track of, but she's meticulous and she knows exactly how much she spends each year. So with this $50,000, she loves her life, she loves her cats, and she wants to keep this style of living. So let's calculate my cousin Gwen's FIRE number. So given that she wants to spend $50,000 per year, she would need $1,250,000. Yeah, $1.25 million. So once Gwen saves a total of $1.25 million bucks, she can retire at whatever age she's at that moment. If she's 28 and hits 1.25 million, she can retire. If she's 36 and hits 1.25 million, she can retire. If she's 44 and she hits 1.25 million, she can retire. I found that number because 4% of 1.25 million is $50,000. Check it out on your calculator. 0.04 times 1 million $250,000 and you got $50,000. It also works the other way. So if you know you're going to spend $50,000 per year, you can multiply that number by 25 and you'll get your FIRE number. So $50,000 times 25 gets you $1.25 million. And I know for a fact that some of you guys paused this video and did a follow-up calculation and noticed,
hey Gary, that 1.25 million divided by $50,000 is 25. So if she saved 1.25 million and spent $50,000 per year, that's only gonna last her 25 years.
And yes, you are definitely correct. If she got that 1.25 million and retired at 28, according to your calculations, she would run out of money by the time she's 52. And yeah, who wants to run out of money by 52? Nobody. So this scenario only happens if Gwen stuffed that money in a savings account, which is basically just stuffing money under your mattress. You definitely don't want to do that. So how can I sort of guarantee that Gwen can retire at 28, but use that 1.25 million and they'll last her forever and ever? You do this by not storing it under a mattress, but investing it in the stock market. A quick little history about the 4% rule. It was a study done by a few finance professors at Trinity University in Texas. Their goal was to find that perfect withdrawal rate of your money, where by the time you die, your portfolio will not go to zero. And what it showed was, and to summarize a very, very long study with many, many different types of scenarios, the Trinity study concluded that if you were to store your money in a total market index fund or the S&P 500, you can withdraw 4% of your portfolio and you would have a very, very high chance of your money not going to zero. The Trinity study obviously can't predict the future, so what they did was use historical data and evaluated hundreds and hundreds of random starting points throughout the stock market history. And of those hundreds and hundreds of starting points, only about 3 to 5% of them would fail. And for most of the scenarios, your portfolio will even be gaining money even though you're taking out that 4%. So knowing you can withdraw 4% of your total money invested and essentially never run out, and even have a good probability you can leave that money for your next of kin, is such an amazing feeling. This is called SWR, or your safe withdrawal rate. I want to direct you guys to this website called firecalc.com. It's a great website that practically simulates the Trinity study. So let's head on over to the computer and we'll play around with our scenario. Just input here how much you're going to have when you want to retire. And then input here how much you want to spend after you retire. And depending on your age, how many years left from when you retire till when you pass away, click submit and try and decipher what this spaghetti of graph even means. What each of these lines means is a scenario where the program picked a random spot along the market and then tracked what happens for 30 years. This program did this 121 times. So we can see only 6 of those times we ran out of money. But in 95% of these scenarios, our portfolio never ran out of money, and a huge percentage of the time, our portfolio even gained money. You can definitely get lost in the site and play around with so many different scenarios. See if you can do it where you'll have a 100% success rate. Typically, a 3% withdrawal rate will get you there. I've linked firecalc.com in the description down below. You'll soon find out that once your portfolio hits a certain number, you can retire with ease. And look, I want to stress, my cousin Gwen didn't need to save dollar for dollar that 1.25 million. She's been investing dollar cost averaging into indexes since she was in her early 20s, and that money grew to 1.25 million. Her total amount invested is only around $390,000. With the interest compounding all your money invested, reaching your FIRE number is a very real and achievable goal. Check out my other videos where I talk about the power of compound interest. Look, your FIRE number and your safe withdrawal rate gives you confidence to know of your early retirement stability. And of course, all the forecasting was done with previous historical data. So I must warn, past performance does not guarantee future returns. However, it does help us make an informed choice. And it's way better than completely going in blind. If you found this info useful, please do like and subscribe to my channel. My goal is to help us grow wealth together, and doing this journey together makes the growth worthwhile. I hope y'all learned a lot. Stay safe out there, and I'll see y'all next time.